Morning, David.
Hello, Bex. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. Is that Gemma?
It is, yeah.
Hello. Why can't I see people's video? Is it me?
Mhm.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Bex, have we met before? Oh, Nicole?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys doing this morning?
I'm I'm doing well, thank you. Powell? Or Pavel?
Good morning.
Good morning. Where are you?
I was on mute. Good
Are you
morning.
back? Are you still in Poland? Or are you
No,
back?
no, I'm back in Sicily.
Back in Sicily.
Only 1 week I was in Poland.
Okay. How was it?
Cold compared to Sicily.
Oh, Bex, have we met before? You're muted. Can't hear you.
Hi there. Hi,
Can't hear you.
David.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, David. I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed. How's it going? It's been a week. I haven't seen you, but
It's
I'm
been,
good.
yes, it's been 2 weeks.
Yes, it has been 2 weeks, actually.
Right. 801. Who wants to build the container? You're looking very barley, Nikki, with a nice flower in your hair.
Yeah, it's lots of ceremonies right now.
Lots of barley's just ceremony after ceremony after ceremony, huh?
Yeah, but we have the biggest day of the year on Saturday, Nyepi Silent Day. Yeah.
Silent day.
Yeah, the whole island goes dark. The airport's closed, everything is off, and for this island, water and power, so I will be leaving to go to the main island where there is water and power. Yeah, but just
Wow.
no Wi-Fi, no going out of the house, no like street travel, anything like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Still can't hear you, Bex. No, we still can't hear you. Okay, while we're waiting for Bex, who wants to build the container? One at a time, please. Um,
Okay, I will.
there we
Nikki,
go. Go for it, Nikki.
feeling contented. Let's see, Nicole.
Feeling grateful. Ricky.
Muted.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm feeling excited. I'm looking forward to my birthday. I turn 50 on Friday, so yeah, a bit anxious, excited. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I'll take Delaware.
Morning, everyone. Del Rey. I'm feeling a bit unsure today. I just wanted to say to Bex, maybe she should log out, go off, and then re-enter using audio. Because sometimes you don't click that button and then the audio doesn't work.
Is that your check-in, Dore? Who are you taking?
I apologize. I'll tag Steph.
Hello. Sorry, I missed the instruction, but I'm just going to give a sentence. I'm feeling a bit frazzled.
Are you taking Steph?
To tag. I'm just trying to see who else is in the meeting. Sorry, my power went out and I had to reconnect.
No problem, no problem. There's Stuart there.
Okay, I'll tag Stuart.
Cool. How's it? Sorry, I'm off camera today because I'm on holiday, so sitting near a beach. So I'm feeling relaxed today. And I will tag Gemma.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Gemma and I'm feeling content, and I will tag David.
Me. I'm hello everyone. I'm in Hartlepool. It's a lovely sunny day. I'm in a caravan here with Charlie. I don't know if you guys know Charlie, but yeah, feeling good. Let's see if Bex's audio's here now. Still not. All right. Powell, do you want to check in so long?
Yes, I feel grateful and peaceful. And I think that's everybody besides Becky.
So you keep trying there, Becky. All right, back to you, Nikki.
Back to me.
Yes,
Or-
you've got the container.
Aha.
Ah. So what? So was it? So we need to do accountability, and then find out what the agenda is.
Okay, accountability. How would I do that? Like for
That's a
myself
good-
check-in?
Yep. So was there any homework from last week? Was there any accountability? Was there any?
Oh, I mean, I believe the homework was to connect with everyone and try to do some practice coaching. Is that correct?
Was that correct, everyone? There's a couple of thumbs there. I'm not feeling the enthusiasm in the container this morning.
I feel like there, honestly, I feel like there wasn't like a clear-cut homework. Now maybe
Okay.
I can get some more consensus with that. Any thumbs up? Still no.
I had to
Hey, one,
leave like
two.
15, 20
Yeah.
minutes before, so I didn't take part in the practicing of the coaching, but I did see Nikki's message on the group leaving her number to say she's available for practicing, but yours was the only one that I saw.
So yeah, there were some before that as well. So I think that was kind of like the informal thing. I'm just extrapolating, so I don't think there was any like formal homework. But I can check in with my own accountability if that is helpful.
Yep, go for it.
Okay, my own accountability. Let's see. I did connect because two people reached out to me, but I'm feeling very time poor right now. And so I am feeling honestly a bit of, I don't know if it's guilt or shame because I still have trouble figuring out which one's which, honestly. But about not putting aside more time. I'm traveling again and blah, blah, blah. So like I'm feeling, I know I need to do that. It's kind of weighing on me, but I just haven't. Oh, and then one thing that has, I'll just bring it now. I'm still not sure how many hours we need to be logging and where we need to do that. And so even last night, I was laying in bed before I fell asleep and I was like, do I ask or do I just kind of take my own initiative and just write it down because I'm such a list maker? So I don't know, like, I guess what would be helpful for me is to know how many hours we need of peer coaching. I don't know if that's helpful for anyone else or if anyone else has the same thing going on, but that's where I'm at.
Which number class is this?
6, I believe.
Number 6. Okay, good. Yep, 6. Dore?
I'm just going with that sheet. So I'm kind of like logging these online hours that I do and if I'm coached or if I coach. So I've just printed out those sheets that you sent us, you know, all the documents, all the PDFs. I've saved them all. And I'm just basically logging it there so that I have a record of it. And I think it's 60 hours of coaching.
So 10 hours of being coached and 50 hours of giving coaching.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So let's thank you for building the container, Nikki. Yep. And so we're in class number 6, and the first one would have been more around kind of orientation. Yep. And our overall contract is 20 classes, and each class is 2 hours long, and that's going to give us a total of 40 hours of classroom time of going through the process of coaching. There's a mixture of theory and practice, which you'll be doing the self-study and getting an understanding of the theory and the practice of it. But here in the classroom, particularly with me, you're doing the process stuff. So if we look at the coaching framework, yeah, which is the symbol is the headphones. And the reason we use headphones is we want this to be translated into any language, so not necessarily English. Yep. So one of the challenges in South Africa is English is the 4th language. It's Zulu, Xhosa, Afrikaans, and then English. And Westernized psychology is delivered in English. It's thought of in English, and the way that we get psychologists and social workers and people out into the public health system through the academic system isn't addressing the huge problem that we have there. So in designing the program and the skill set of bringing the skill of coaching in to have co-creative, collaborative conversations, we've thought of different ways of being able to deliver it. Yeah. So when people talk about a symbol, it's a lot easier to talk about coaching and the concept of it. And the symbol is the headphones. Yeah. And now that arch is the coaching framework. And it starts with the 3 C's, which is check-in, contract, build the container. Those are the 3 C's. And then it's accountability, and then it's agenda. So I threw Nikki in the deep end this morning and said, who wants to build the container? Yep. And then it's like, okay, well, what are we doing here? So you meet someone and then you start by building a container with that individual. And we work in crisis, chaos, and conflict. And we need to be resilient enough as coaches to be able to work in a culture of addiction or a culture of adversity. Does that make sense? Yep. So some people are checking in this morning, their microphones aren't working, they've had power failures, they're on. You can just feel a bit of the chaos. And as coaches, we need to be resilient and to be able to dance with that. Okay. So we have a contract where you are coming here to learn about coaching. And the course is split over 5 modules: the coaching conversation, the continuums, the system, the 4Q model, and creating the container. And each class, we bring different bits of those learnings into what we're talking about. And I'm all over the place. Leanne is often a lot more structured, and we're a good dance together. At least I like to think so. Yeah. And hopefully at the end of this, you're going to bring your own authentic style to the way that you practice recovery coaching. And if you meet all the requirements, you'll get a certificate that will say you're a certified professional recovery coach. And that this is what our training is, this is what the content is, and this is what the students are tested on at the end of the training. Yep. So people out there that want to buy this service have an understanding of what our style of recovery coaching is. So the conversation was the 3 C's: check-in, contract, build the container. Was there any accountability? Because the 3rd A is you always want to forward the action and deepen the learning. So you want to stretch your clients to the lives that they want to live. Making sense? Is everyone agreeing with me at the moment? Yep. This is coaching. It's not about going off in the world of therapy and going into it's action forward based. We're moving forward here. Okay. So if we're at week 6, we should start to be in the continuums. Now there are 4 continuums. There's the well-being continuum. On the one end goes to high well-being. The other end is premature death. That's one continuum. The next continuum is use, misuse, abuse, and dependence. When you see your client and meet them, where are they in that? Yeah, are they addicted? Are they dependent? Are they just using? Are they abusing a bit? Are they, a family's brought their son to you, he's 18 years old, the mother's freaking out, he's taking drugs, and you sit down and you talk with him. I'm smoking dope on the weekends, I'm having a couple of drinks with my friends, it's kind of everyone's doing it, it's kind of normal, I'm just using. Yeah, so there's 2 people having different perspectives of where that individual is on the continuum. Making sense?
Yeah.
The next continuum is codependent, independent, and in the middle you get interdependence. You're looking at the way the relationship is. And then the 4th continuum is a person in addiction? Are they in harm reduction? Or are they in abstinence? Are they staying in abstinence? Are they staying in harm? Yep. Or are they in addiction and on their way to premature death? And when you meet your client and engage with them, yep, is to kind of work that out. Yep. And you can take that thinking and apply it to any type of addiction. You could apply it to substance use disorder. You could put that lens on disordered eating. You could put that on porn addiction, internet, addictions, workaholism, whatever. Yeah, no, we just want you to start thinking in that area as well. You also get the stages of change model, which is pre-contemplation, where the person isn't even thinking about change. Like Bex is there, she's having a cigarette and she's thinking, I'm going to smoke for the rest of my life. Donnie, I haven't even thought, I love smoking so much. Yep. Maybe after this call and we talk about recovery coaching and what it might be doing, so she might start to contemplate. Okay, well maybe, yep, I'll stop smoking. Sorry to pick on you, Bex. I'm just using it as an example, just because you took a lovely long drag of that cigarette there on the call. And
Oh, can I? Oh,
hey, welcome.
can you hear
We
me?
can hear
Thank
you.
you. Am I allowed to smoke on this call?
I don't know.
I just want to check, but yes, I changed over to my phone. So hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know. Are you allowed to smoke? How old
I mean,
are
I'm
you?
allowed to smoke. I didn't. Well, I missed a few weeks. So I didn't know if there were any, kind of orientation rules or anything. But yes, I'm 34, so I am allowed to smoke. Yes.
You're 34 and you're allowed to smoke. Do you like smoking?
I'm liking it less and less, but I've cut down quite a lot.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to cut down smoking.
Yes.
All right. What brand do you smoke?
At the moment, I'm smoking the cheap illegal cigarettes.
Cheap illegal cigarette. Okay.
Cheap
A,
illegal, yeah.
a cigarette's expensive.
Very. I mean, the cheapest ones you get, they're about $40 at the box.
How much?
About 40 Rand a box.
Wow. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So,
10 Rand. So
okay. And how many do you smoke a day?
between 5 and 10. So I've cut down from over a box.
Okay. And have you ever tried to stop in the past?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. And why did you pick up again?
Because I started using again.
Oh, okay. What were you using?
At the time, cocaine and MDMA. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first of
And
all, I just want to say, hang on, just from a personal safety thing, this call's being recorded, and yeah, and it's held in an unlisted link, but people can see it. So,
Perfect.
are you all right with that, or would you like me to delete
Yeah.
the call?
No. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Okay, so you recover out loud.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. All right. So you used to use cocaine and MDMA, and
And then we moved to crystal meth and GHB.
oh, okay. All right. So you're a proper rock star, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you just smoking now, or are you still using other
No, I'm
drugs?
not. No, not using anything at all.
Okay, you just nicotine.
Just nicotine, yes.
Okay, all right. So do you see yourself as somebody who's abstinent?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. So you're working abstinence program and you've cut down on cigarettes. Yep. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So Bex, thank you so much for letting me jump in there and coach you quickly. And
Thank you.
just to get an idea of the continuums and where we're at. And is this the first time I've met you?
We've met in passing. Yeah, this is the first time we've actually properly met, yes.
Where did I pass you?
At the foundation clinic.
Oh, okay. All right. And how long ago
Yeah.
was that?
It was December 2 years ago.
Okay.
So not, yeah. I
All
think.
right. So Yeah, I would have been over there in November, I think. Okay.
Or it could have been January.
Yeah, maybe I was there in November and back in February. So
Or that would have
maybe.
been Feb. I'm blind.
No. That's good. That's good. And were you there as a patient or as a?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I was doing outpatient when I met you. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. And now you're doing the training.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Cool. And what would you like to get from the training?
This is a path I've been kind of fighting my whole life. I feel it is a strong purpose of mine to help other people.
Okay. Cool. All right. And how many classes have you been to?
This is my first one. Leanne sent me the stuff to enroll yesterday, so I'm fresh.
Fresh. Okay. Cool.
Got a lot of
All
catching
right.
up to do.
All right. So what would you like the class to know about you?
Wow. Okay. People in the environment of recovery, people generally think I'm very outgoing, very extroverted, very comfortable around people. But that's very specific to the world of recovery. I find people are more authentic. There's less judgment, and so I tend to be more comfortable. I've got agoraphobia, so I have a fear of leaving my house. Yeah, and I'm quite uncomfortable around people in general. But this field, this environment, is a place that I've been pushed. But it's a place I feel I can actually be vulnerable and be my authentic self.
Wow.
I've been battling with addiction for 10 years. And yeah, a lot has changed recently. I feel like I can finally pursue not just surviving, but thriving.
Okay. Great. All right. So I just want to pause for a second as I kind of I'm going to kind of say my heart is opening up to you and warming to you as you tell me about yourself. So when you say agoraphobia and addiction, and that Leanne thinks it's good that you come here, I'm just kind of dancing with the chaos of that, and then trying to really work.
I have a very large dog.
That's okay.
I have a very big dog, so I apologize for the noise.
That's okay. Yeah. And I'm just trying to kind of bring you in and catch you up. And this isn't group therapy, yep. But the classroom might be therapeutic, yep. And as I'm kind of dancing with the chaos of you just arriving, hopefully the container can witness my style, and they might take something from it. Then that might be positive or negative, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll work that out in a minute. But the one thing is, I just want to double check for safety. So I've just this is being recorded, and this is a training. It's not group therapy. We want your lived experience here, but we also want you to look after yourself, and the other people in the classroom. I just want to make them aware of this as well. Ricky, you got your hand up.
Yes, I do actually, David. I've got a situation. I have a situation at hand. Okay, I'm turning 50 years old on Friday, so that's a big birthday. I haven't touched alcohol for over 6 months. And so I was asking myself, what do I do? I mean, it's a birthday that you celebrate once in your lifetime and half a century. So You
So
know,
Ricky, I thought you had a question maybe for Bex. So we can jump to you in a second. Yeah. Let me just kind of roll Bex in here. Yeah. Is that all right? Ricky, that good? Okay,
that is good. That is good. Thank you so much.
cool. All right. So yeah. So Bex, how are you feeling now? Frozen. Fucking hell, dancing with the chaos of the container, right? All right, so why Bex is frozen? Where's Rich gone now? Oh God, now he's dropped off. Oh, there he is. Okay, Ricky.
Yes. So that was my question to you, David. Okay, because it can also happen to a client, and he can ask you the same question. I mean, he or she can ask me that okay, I'm approaching a milestone birthday here, or if I'm going to have a wedding, or a big event. Okay, like myself, I'm gonna have a big event on Friday. Got my family coming down, my brother's coming down from overseas. Um, yeah, and yeah, we're having quite a big dinner party Friday night. Okay,
Okay,
so yeah,
so Ricky, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a game. Yeah, we're
yeah.
going to imagine you're a client. Yep. And you've
Mm-hmm.
come to a coaching session, and what you want to talk about is your 50th birthday as an agenda and how to be. And I'm going to
Yeah.
throw this out to all the coaches in the container, and the container can coach you. Is that good for you,
Okay.
Ricky? Yeah?
Perfect. Perfect.
Cool. And we'll go for 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll deconstruct it.
Okay.
All right. So, coaches, who wants to take it first? Go, Gemma. I saw you unmute. Okay, go for it, Gemma. First question.
Hi Ricky. How are you wanting to feel on Friday?
Um, Friday is a very big day for me. I think I, in my side of the family, I'm the first one to reach 50 in terms of my mother, same father. So it's a big milestone. My kids are excited. My whole family is excited, and I'm feeling anxious as well. I'm feeling very anxious.
Okay, and so what's bringing the anxiety on?
The anxiety is 50. It's 50 years of a milestone, and don't know how I'm gonna behave in terms of me. There's gonna be a whole lot of alcohol there. Yeah, and a lot of champagne. I know most of my rest of my family does drink. So
So how are you wanting
that
to feel on Friday?
I actually don't know. I mean, um, I wouldn't mind a bubbly to celebrate. I mean, a glass of champagne or something. I wouldn't mind that. It's memories as well, and yeah, it's joy.
So is the anxiety around your chosen DOC and you feeling how
So, Gemma, that's a yes/no question. And the
yeah,
abbreviation DOC, the coachee might not know what that means.
okay. Okay, let's rephrase this. Me think.
That's okay. I mean, just ask it, just be aware of it.
Okay. Um, okay, where are we?
Well, you're both scratching your heads and rubbing
Oh,
your faces. You're both like, oh, it's a big situation, huh?
yes, very stressful. Okay, so Ricky, your anxiety, where does the anxiety come from?
My anxiety is actually being around a lot of people, my family, and everybody's enjoying themselves. They're happy for me, and they're drinking and being merry. Yeah, so I'm not going to exactly say how I'm going to act. I don't know. I have not reached 50 years yet. So I'm looking forward to reaching 50 that morning and then celebrating with the family and with friends as well. So yeah, and yeah, it's got its ups and downs because I'm separated with my wife, so she won't be present, and yeah, my kids. I'm not so sure if my kids will be present if they're coming down from university. One is in Poland, as I mentioned, and the other one is in Cyprus. And then I got my little baby. She's still in grade school, so they haven't closed school. So I actually don't know what the lineup is, or what the surprises are. So I'm just in the blind, and this is why I'm anxious: is who's going to be there as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm finding it hard to even sleep at night. I'm sleeping after midnight. Yeah, just tossing and turning, looking forward to the day.
Are you
Thank you,
excited?
Gemma. Let's hear from someone else. Another coach take over this. There we go, Nicole. Nicole's all eager there. You'll need to unmute though.
Okay,
Where did
okay.
Gemma go? Oh, there. Cool.
Morning, Ricky.
Good
So
morning to
how
you,
are you
Nicole.
feeling today?
I am feeling excited and anxious. I've got a
Ex-
countdown of hours. So basically, I'm saying to myself, it's no longer 48 hours. It's probably 30 or something, or 42 hours left until I reach 50. So yeah, there's that bit of excitement and there's
Okay,
joy.
so
Yeah.
that's good. So what exactly would you wanna focus on? What would you wanna speak about? Which area? What do you really what do you want this session to be focused on?
Okay. Will it be okay for me to actually have a glass of champagne and celebrate my birthday?
I don't know, Ricky. What do you think?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
But only you know the answer to that.
Well, a glass of celebrating your 50th birthday. I strongly believe most people haven't even reached that age. Some people didn't make it to that age. And yeah, I wouldn't mind probably just having a glass of champagne with friends and family and, thanking them for the part they
But
played, the role they played in my life. So that's what I feel.
so if you just say you happen to take that class, what do you think the outcome might be? How would you feel about it? Would you be happy? Would it bring you joy, or would it make you feel more uncomfortable? What do you
Well, I
think
wouldn't
drinking a glass would make you feel like?
I wouldn't know because I haven't touched alcohol for 6 months. Um, I was actually thinking that the other day, and I was saying to myself that, okay, what is the cause of me drinking a lot? And I was trying to dissect the reasons of me hiding under the bottle of alcohol. And for starters, it was because I was keeping a lot of things inside of me that built up, and the only way I could actually get rid of them every single day was for me to have a drink. But within the past 6 months that I've actually been in rehab, and slowly gaining myself back in terms of uh, what happened, why did it happen, and I don't have to depend on this. If I have a problem, I must let it out. So yeah, rehab actually taught me quite a lot, and I've abstained from alcohol for 6 months. I haven't had a drink, and I don't have any problems with food yet. And I actually found out why I was actually drinking, which was because of my personal life with my wife and everything. And I put that behind me, and I'm actually filing for divorce. So I don't think that'll bother me at all. My kids are all grown up, so I don't really have anything else. And when it comes to work, I'm working on the side as well, and I'm also doing the recovery coaching, which I found out that is my passion because I love to help people, and I grew up with a very Christian background, and what I want to achieve now is actually, um, helping people. There's a lot of Christians that are actually in addiction, and some of them are actually they're very scared to go out and say it because they label as Christians, so they can be better people than the others. So I really want to focus on this.
Okay, so Ricky, from what I'm hearing, you've been through this recovery thing of going to rehab, and you've learned a lot. So now you're doing this, and basically you've been on a journey, and on this journey you've learned things. So with all the knowledge that you now have, how would you see your birthday, or how would you want your birthday to be like with all knowing all these things, all these journeys you've been through? How would you picture your birthday to turn out to be? How would you want your 50th birthday? How would you want the night to go out?
To be very honest with you, Nicole, is I just want to have a good time with my life. Okay, I want to celebrate the 50 years that I've been present on this planet Earth and with the people that are going to be around me. And yeah, if I have a glass of champagne, I'm going to look back and say, listen, I've been down that alcoholic road and I don't want to spoil my next 50 years if I'm blessed by the Lord to stay another 50 years and drown them in alcohol. That's what I personally feel.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay,
Let's go
that's
to just hold it there, Nicole. Let's go to Del Rey, and then a couple of questions from Del Rey, and then we'll wrap it up.
okay.
I just want to ask Ricky, what are your, do you know what the triggers are going into the party and the celebrations? Because perhaps you could have accountability for any trigger that pops up.
Well, the only trigger is if I see my ex-wife in the party. That's it. But otherwise, there's no other trigger that's going to be there.
Yeah, but she's
at
not going to
all.
be there, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll have triggers. There will be no triggers for me.
How do you think
There will
you'll
be no.
feel the next morning after having that one glass of champagne, knowing that
I
you
actually
haven't
don't know.
drank in 6
I actually
months?
don't know how I'll feel actually because I haven't tried it. But at the end of the day, I am focused. I know what I want to do, and I know where I want to go. And I'm saying to myself that I am not going to settle, spoil my next 50 years, as I said, that I've been blessed with over alcohol. That I'm not going to do.
Okay. All right. I can't resist. Go on then, Stuart. Thanks, Del Rey.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Del Rey. Ricky, are you prepared for the consequences of if you don't just have one?
So that's a yes/no question.
Okay. Have you thought about how you will handle?
That's a yes/no question. What might the consequences be?
But I wanted to be more than that. I wanted to kind of like be the Like
Yeah.
a personal like interrogation question.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay.
So
Maybe
what's
okay,
driving?
let's go with that. Let's go with that, David. Have you considered the consequences? Well, no, that's also a yes, no question. Explain to me how you see the consequences if you have more than one.
I haven't looked at it that way in terms of the consequences because I'm not saying to myself that I'm gonna get sloshed and you know and I can't walk or something. No.
The alcoholic at the party.
It's the question you just asked is sometimes when I go into the store, okay, so I actually pass the liquor store and you have a look at those bottles there, and I'd be like, that nearly killed me, and I walk into the store and into Checkers or something, and then I come out of there. So I've got that thing that alcohol nearly killed me. So I've got that fear. Will that answer your question, Stuart? So I have that fear.
So I mean, the answer to the question then would be that you would be fearful.
Yeah.
That you are scared of the consequences. But
if I am scared of the consequences.
Sure, but I mean that doesn't stop you from doing it though. That doesn't stop the consequences from coming to fruition just because you fear it.
Yeah, but then also the other thing you also got to look at the same time, Stuart, is will they be consequences? You're assuming there will be. It's an assumption that there will be. What if they are not?
There are always consequences to anything. Whether you drink, there are consequences. Whether you don't drink, there are consequences. The consequences is a result. So what is the result from how you imagine your birthday party and all the possibilities that could come out of it?
Well, the consequence that I will probably have is probably meeting a woman that night, and then asking myself the next morning, why did I do that? Maybe on my birthday. But other than that, no.
Yeah,
No.
so we're coming to the end of this, but my curiosity is really going to make me recontract with Nikki. Bring it in, Nikki, and then we'll wrap this up. What did you want to say, Nikki?
David, Ricky, I heard you talking about, you want to be a coach and you want to help people, and this is your passion. You found that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, if someone came to you and they were saying the same thing and they were telling you this story, what would you say to them?
Well, this is why we have this container that David has actually brought up, and I'm also learning my own self. I'm actually learning that what would I say to that person? And this is actually very good, David. I'm actually, I'm enlightened. Okay, because probably all of us are going to come into this situation where someone's going to be celebrating probably their 50th year in marriage or their 20th year in marriage or something like that. And if they tell you something like this, how do you coach them? And it's something that's been on my mind for the past 2 weeks actually. And everybody's just been so excited around me. The kids are phoning me, Dad, you're turning 50. My dad is telling me you're turning 50. So there's that anxiety and then there's that excitement as well. So I don't know, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. To be very honest with you, I don't know.
Did you answer the question, Nikki?
No, I was going to ask it again. So what would you say to that person if they came to you and they were telling you the same things? If they were saying that they were thinking about having one glass of champagne at their 50th birthday and they were telling the same story and you were listening to that, what would you say?
I would tell them that I've been in that certain situation before, and I have been coached before, and there are consequences, maybe or maybe not consequences up ahead. So I've been coached to that, and at the end, it's you yourself to choose what you're going to do. I'm not going to let you tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you it's bad, don't do it. I'm going to tell you it's good, do it. I'm not in that position to tell you.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Did you want to say anything else, Nikki, just before we wrap this up?
I mean, I did have another question, but it was almost a redirect, and this is a question that I wanted to see if this would be a good question.
Okay.
But thinking of things that, things that are more of things that bring joy on your birthday, because that is what I would want to do on my birthday, something that also brings. So like, I was going to ask, what are other things that would really be fun for you on your birthday?
Right. So before you answer that, Ricky, let's just unpack this a bit. And I just want to start off with this. The session started with Gemma, and she asked a great question, which was, what do you want to feel on Friday? So the clients come, the agenda is, listen, it's my 50th birthday. I don't know what's happening on Friday. I want to talk about this birthday that's coming up. It's a big number for me. I'm fantasizing about having champagne there. I want to kind of celebrate. And then Gemma asked another great question. What's bringing on the anxiety? They were both great open questions and curious. Yep. One about how do we want to feel on the Friday? And then the other thing is what is bringing it on? And that's a very normal kind of stuff, like culturally going to a birthday party, people drinking, celebration, the choice of drink that he wants, just one glass of champagne, da 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 da. There was a whole lot there. Then the conversation started to go deeper. Yeah. And Nicole, you were next then, yes? Yeah. And he tried to set up a trap for you. He tried to, and you handled that very well as well. What do you think? What do you think? He kept kind of wanting you to come up with the answer, and you did very well at deflecting it back and putting the responsibility back on the client. I thought that was great. Yep. Then Delray came in there, and we explored a little bit more. Yep. And then Stuart came in and got curious about the consequences. Listen, what's going to happen? While this was going on in my head, I'm self-managing and I'm just thinking, oh yeah, fucking one glass of champagne, said every single alcoholic ever. Are you mad? You're just in like rehab. Are you crazy? You're just like starting out here. You're doing a recovery coaching training and you want to do complete abstinence. And now you're talking about, I had to keep all that stuff quiet. I'm just being very manipulative now and slipping it in under the radar as a class training because I want to say, fuck, are you mad? So but anyway, be that as this. And then Nikki, I loved where you asked, where you took his current career and then say, what would you, if you were in this role, what would you say to yourself? That's another great question for getting the client to do the work. Yeah, to actually find the resource and do the work themselves. How did it feel for you guys holding Gemma? How did it feel kicking this off? Where's Gemma going? The screen keeps me. Gemma, you still there?
I'm here.
How did it feel starting off the conversation and building it?
Yeah, good. I think I just need to like try and like progress how to ask the questions in my head before it comes out. So like they do the work and I'm just like giving them time to think and reflect on the answer so they work out the answer for themselves. Yeah.
Now, I would like to suggest you to just be a bit softer with yourself and just
Okay.
have some fun in this fucking container.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's not easy, you know. It's this stuff's not easy. Let's just have some fun, like you know. I completely relate to the silence, and then sitting there asking a question and thinking, okay, what question am I going to ask next? And doing it's very anxiety provoking, and that's part of the process. So just relax, have fun here. Yeah, just like
David, I'm
yes.
sorry, David. I wanted to ask, have you ever been in a situation like this that I have been in?
Yes, I've been in it personally and professionally.
Okay. And how did you handle that?
I fucking went and smoked drugs and crack and fucking sold my house, and the kids went off to foster care, and I ended up in jail. No, I'm joking. It depends. It all depends. But
What do you mean?
it's
How does that story depend? You mean like you did smoke drugs, or the kids did end up in foster care?
so my kids. Oh fuck! Have I opened this can of? Okay, so my kids did go off into foster care, if you really want to know, and I have had quite a colourful past. And what I've really had to do is, what I'm so passionate about is around the stigma of mental health and recovery and what that looks like, because there's such a huge moral lens that gets put on people, and there's such a societal pressure that we're in. So, I mean, just Ricky, where he is going back to his family 50th birthday, people want to celebrate the association of alcohol with celebration is a huge challenge in Judeo-Christian based families. Yeah. Whereas in Islamic families, it's not like that. Yeah. And we can go deeper into that story in a minute, but let's just stick to the coaching conversation, and then maybe in a bit we can share our lived experience here in a way that might be helpful for Ricky. Yeah. So Delray, you got your hand up. We'll go Delray, Paul, and then Stuart.
I want to. I'm finding it very difficult, David, to go between the addiction counseling and the recovery coaching. So like you said, I'm trying to listen to Ricky, but at the same time, I'm already thinking of the next question that I'm going to answer him and how I'm going to ask it and if it's correct and if it's not correct. So it's yeah, it's very difficult. But I wanted to ask Ricky if is this your first time getting clean and sober? Is it your first rehab, first time ever sober?
This
So
is actually
Delray's
my first
asking
time.
a yes/no question. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's fine to find out, to get quite specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine. We can ask yes/no questions just to like, so is this your first time in rehab? Great question. Ricky, yes or no?
Yes, that was my first time in rehab. My
Thanks.
first rodeo.
Yep.
So the
Okay,
first
cool.
time that you're abstinent and you're sober and you're clean.
Yes, my first time.
Okay. Because then just from, I mean, I know we're
Let's
not
just put a pin in that for a
advising.
second. Let's just put
Okay,
a pin in
okay,
that for a second, Derek.
okay.
Stuart? Sorry, Paul. I said Paul, you go next, and then Stuart. You're muted.
Okay, I think I find this difficult. If I would be coaching Rick, I have a very strong beliefs about not going back into even occasional drinking after you decided to be sober. And I know in the coaching session, I should not be telling that. I mean, something I know, something I believe, but rather just leading the client to find out and on his own. But same as you, I was just like, when Ricky was telling about having this one glass of champagne, I was just thinking, what are you thinking about? Like, you go back into drinking, like, and I know I cannot say that out loud because this is not what coaching is about. So I think I find that, kind of being on fire, saying like, you cannot do that. You cannot do, you're risking going back into drinking. You cannot do that, like, and then, but that would be just giving an advice. So again, it's going like, in contradiction. So what I'm supposed to do. And, I think I will find it in my future career when I would be coaching people and they would be telling me that they want to have occasional drink or something when I have a very strong beliefs and I know it doesn't work because I tested it on so many people. So what do you do then?
Right.
I guess that's my question. When you are on fire and like, wow, what are you talking about? Like, I mean, what this one drink is going to give you, like, it's going to be, of course, trying to, it's going to make you want more. I mean, what does it going to, but you cannot say that, like, you can lead the client slowly just towards, like, him finding out on his own that it's not good for him.
So, Paul, first of all, the point of this training is to stir up that process of you. It's like, oh God, I got to sit with this stuff. I got to kind of keep quiet. How do I do? So that's good news that this is being stirred up. The way that I would approach this is I would say something like, so what does your counselor say at your treatment facility? What does your sponsor think? What does your family think about you wanting to drink? What's to get curious around the environment around it, to and what I would say is, oh, what you're saying is making me so anxious because of my belief system. But what do the people in your area think? So I can then be authentic in a way that keeps me in the coaching role, but I don't have to project all my, fuck, you haven't worked your step one properly. What kind of person are you? If you're not working a program, you're working a relapse. Phone your sponsor. I don't have to do any of that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And a lot of people's enthusiasm and trauma from their addiction gets projected onto people in an unhealthy way, with the belief that they're doing good. Yep. Just because I smoke crack and my kids got taken away and I got my kids back and I don't smoke crack anymore, doesn't make me give good relationship advice or business advice or therapeutic advice. Do you know? Just because I'm kind of in recovery doesn't. Oh, I get quite worked up around this because there's an unconscious arrogance amongst a lot of people that are in recovery and they don't realize it's a bit like evangelical Christians going off and spreading the word of God when people don't kind of want it, and it's all their enthusiasm and beliefs coming out. Just to give you an example, in the clinic, when patients would come in and they were needing detox and some medical care, to have the doctor say, "Do you mind if I pray for you while I'm examining you?" And because they've got some strong Christian beliefs, that they want to kind of go out and save people when the person that they're working on has been abused by the church growing up.
Mm.
Does that make sense? It's like you're here
Yeah.
to be a doctor.
Mhm.
Yeah. Save your evangelical stuff for church. You're here to be a coach. Save your 12-step stuff for the fellowship. Yeah.
Mm. No, I hear you. I agree with you.
I feel quite passionate here. So let's go, Stuart, then Bex, then we'll have a break, and then we're going to decide what champagne you're going to drink, Ricky. It's going to be grape juice. Stuart, go for it.
Thanks, David. Yeah, it's very like it kind of sounded very much that like one of those difficult situations where like we all have our own anecdotes around sobriety and we all know kind of like what the idea is, like don't have one is too many, 1,000 is never enough kind of idea. And so it's very easy to kind of like jump in. And like for me, it sounded like, Ricky, I'm going to talk about you in the third person, even though I know that you're here. Like Ricky was looking for permission. He was looking for kind of like permission and someone to take the responsibility to say, have one or don't have one.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, and I thought Nicole, by the way, Nicole, you handled that like an absolute champ. Your thing was fantastic. But I kind of like try to steer away from that like, okay, cool. Well, you know, it's your decision to have the drink, but you've got to understand what the consequences are. And it kind of all made sense, Ricky, when you said, well, it's my first time. Relapses happen for a reason, but that's an anecdotal thing. So it was, really, really interesting kind of example of kind of that how do you maintain that kind of objectivity and separation of like, okay, it's not my experience that's going to help here, but okay, cool. Let me help you build resilience in thinking through this problem. Go through, like work through the problem, work through it, like take it through the logical steps. Okay, so you have one. What happens if you don't have one? What happens if you have two? What happens if you have three? What happens if you have one and you feel shit the next morning? What happens if you have 1,000 and you feel perfectly fine the next morning? Like play all of those permutations through in your head. That will allow you to kind of like find the path of where, and now I'm an evangelicizing, like David said I shouldn't, you know, but play that, you know, that's the resilience and kind of my understanding, David, is like being able to kind of take all of those kind of options and weigh it all up.
Stuart, are you someone who identifies as being in recovery?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's a very long conversation that, of why not, but yeah.
No. So where's your advice coming from?
It is coming from kind of probably more like a more psychological approach than a recovery approach, in the sense of self-knowledge.
Which modality of psychology?
Analytical. That puts kind of like a heavy weight on self-knowledge and understanding kind of like, you know, one's own kind of psychological structure and makeup and all of the rest of it. But it's a very, what I'm talking about in this particular instance is a kind of a principle of that no thought is ever formed fully when it comes into consciousness. And so you have to look at it again and look at it again and look at it again, not in a sense of this is a pen, this is a pen, this is a pen, this is a pen, more what is this, what is this, what is this? So it's kind of more open-ended rather than specific. And in which case you kind of wash off the, let's call it like the grime of potentially other psychic elements on it. So that it can come out fully formed. Yeah, the saying around it is the verdigris on the coin is our greatest magistry. That's the kind of the saying of what Jung was talking about.
So So the one thing about coaching, which is really quite an art form, is to stay stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to say something like, fuck Ricky, I've no idea what you're going to do. That you've got a lot of people around you that do know. Please go and ask them because I really don't know. My intuition is when you talk about that, so I get a little bit anxious or something, but I'm sure you can go and kind of work this out. I'm not going to tell you what to do or what not to do.
Mm.
I do know you've just come out of rehab, yeah, and are you okay if I go and speak to my colleagues about this for some advice? Because I'm really anxious about what you want to do, being your birthday coming up.
Mm.
Can you guys feel the nuance? We're really trying to get the client to do the work, Ricky to do the work. Bex, are we good to go quickly? Or should we take a break here?
Take a break. I think I need a smoke break like this.
Well, you can smoke in front of the screen. Bex has set the container. Bex, you're
No,
muted
no,
though.
no, I'm not gonna do that. We'll take a break. And we'll see you back in 5 minutes.
All right, your internet's terrible, Bex. We'll take a 5-minute break, Bex.
I just want to say I'm having difficulties with my battery. So if I'm on, I apologize for the disruption.
Okay, I think you said something about batteries and apologies. We're going to take a break. So come back at 1:15. Everyone is very quiet. There's somebody typing away on an email in the background. I would have thought I'd heard something. So, great. So where are we? Has Ricky gone off for a glass of champagne? I can't see him anymore. I'm just using humor because I'm a little bit anxious. Okay, so let's just whip around. Who had their hands up? Okay, looks like she's dropped off. How are you there?
I'm
Are you
here.
going to say, I'm just trying to remember who else had their hand up.
It was Bex.
Yeah, no, but after Bex. Can you see when someone's got their hand up?
Yes.
It was me. I took it down.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay, cool. All right. So let's just do a very quick check-in, a feeling and something that you've learned so far in this morning's container. I feel anxious and I feel like overwhelmed with the amount of content here that we could unpack. Nikki, just because you're unmuted.
I feel like oh God. Fiery? I feel fiery.
Great metaphor. Great. All right, we'll go Gemma, Del Rey, Nicole.
I'm feeling content.
Del Rey?
I am feeling a lot more interested.
Okay. Nicole. Is Nicole frozen?
I'm feeling excited.
Excited. Okay. Paul, then Ricky, then Stuart.
I'm feeling confused.
Confused. Yeah. Ricky?
I am still feeling anxious, excited, and also enlightened. So I got like three mixed feelings in one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling.
Okay. Stuart?
I'm feeling apprehensive.
Apprehensive. Okay. Who just dropped off? Ricky. Okay. All right. So, Stuart, what's apprehensive? Describe it to me.
It's apprehensive on kind of my personal brand of coaching. And kind of like the discussion that we had just before the break. And I'm trying to kind of reconcile my my personal orientation, kind of like the way that I think about the things and the way that I have always engaged with people is not about the why. It's always about, okay, cool, well, what next? Like, where is it going?
Good.
And coaching is, I mean, obviously a very similar thing, right? It's goal orientated, it's forward thinking, it's solution orientated, which is a very kind of critical thing. And so I'm in the process of kind of reconciling kind of like my personal belief system, my kind of personal brand around coaching, because I'm already an executive coach, or a certified coach. I mean, I don't know what being a coach and certification actually means, but you know, it's like we just stumble along, really. but kind of that with kind of like this coaching and the kind of the interaction that kind of all of us had with Ricky just now around, like, we all know the potential outcomes, but how to kind of get Ricky to take responsibility for his life according to kind of where he wants to go and how best to do that. Bearing in mind, trusting intuition, you know, working within the kind of the structures and the frameworks that kind of you trying to share and teach us. And so I suppose it's a reflective apprehension. It's not an apprehension, a scared apprehension. It's a reflective, okay, cool. Well, how do we improve this?
Thank you. Yeah, I also feel quite overwhelmed. There's quite a lot to unpack there. And I personally could talk about this for ages, because it really highlights a huge systemic problem and the environment that Ricky's trying to reintegrate back into as somebody who's now in recovery. No matter what happens, Ricky is in recovery now because of his time in a treatment facility. He can no longer go back to drinking with the same consciousness. Does that make sense to everyone? No matter what happens, Ricky cannot go back to drinking in a state of denial. Yeah? All that can happen is he can go back to drinking knowing that there are solutions out there other than drinking or using. And do my esteemed colleagues here agree with me on that one? Yeah, there's consensus there. It's like once your cherry's been popped, it's popped. There's no kind of going back to it. Yeah? Coming to terms with that is a different process. Okay. Delray, you got your hand up?
If it's okay, David, I just wanted to ask Ricky, what is your thinking? Like, what in terms of thinking, how do you think?
So I would prefer to ask the question, Delray, if it's all right, is what are you learning about coaching? Yep. As a skill set here. And the reason I want to do this, I want to focus this on Ricky the student, not Ricky the patient or someone that's come here for coaching. Does that make sense, Deborah? Yeah? So, Ricky, do you want to answer that question? Another yes/no question.
What am I thinking? I actually haven't drawn up a conclusion. That's the first part. What I'm thinking at the present moment is actually the coaching that you guys are doing to me, and also me learning that if I'm in a situation like that with a client, and how would I actually address the client? So this has actually been a very good container for me as well. It's knowledge for me. Yes, I am a patient at the moment, but I'm also a coach at the same time. And I'm going to be drawn up in certain situations like this. They're going to come up. I mean, probably for all of us, they're going to come up. And I'm learning how to address the question, not to ask a yes or no question, and not to bring my past experiences of rehab or AA group or NA group into the coaching session, like what you were saying to Paul. Right. So I'm learning quite a bit, and I'm enlightened in terms of how would I actually, handle a coaching session in this regard.
Let's just. Oh, here comes Bex. All right. So I just want to stay with Stuart for a second here. Yeah. In so we have a culture of addiction where somebody's using in a state of denial and they're descending down in the continuum. Use, misuse, abuse, dependence. Then some sort of crisis happens. Yep. And then they decide to move into a culture of recovery. So they go from pre-contemplation to contemplation to action to relapse to maintenance. That's in the note that the stages of change model. Yeah. And when someone moves into a culture of recovery and there's a return of symptoms or they start using again in recovery, are they still in recovery?
Is that a question, David?
Yeah. This is a question which I know the answer to from the clever people, and
Well,
but I'm just curious what the container thinks.
I'd say that they are still in recovery because they've begun the journey of recovery, like what you were saying just now, right? Like once your cherry is popped, your cherry is popped. So once you start on the journey of recovery, you're still on the journey of recovery. You're just using in recovery because your brain
Okay.
is still oriented. I suppose you could bring in questions of choice and decision and intention around it, like are you intending to get sober? That's a potential, but you have the awareness. You have the
Okay.
awareness that recovery is possible. It's my opinion on it.
Okay. Let's have some Gemma, you said no.
Yeah, this is a tricky one for me because obviously we work with two joint places, so we'll work with Likewise, and then obviously us as the Arc, we're totally recovery. But one of the things that tends to happen is we still have, obviously, we're totally aware of lapses and relapses, but if they're to come to the Arc, ideally we should all be absent, as whereas if they're still in use of, then it would be Likewise. So for me, I think if you're in recovery, then you're in abstinent. If you're choosing to use and keep using, then you're not really in recovery. But that's my perspective of
Okay.
things.
So I'm just going to reword this a bit for you, Gemma, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's
So you're a volunteer in an organization called Project Six, is that correct? Yes.
Yeah.
And your job is to provide peer support coaching to signpost people to various external recovery capital resources.
Yeah.
Some of those resources are for people that are still using substances. Yep.
Mhm.
And the other ones is for people that are abstinent based and choosing not to use substances. And sometimes there's the gray area. And
Yeah.
sometimes the language around that is lapse, relapse, or whatever. Yep. So from where you're sitting, you have your personal opinion.
Yeah.
Yep. And you manage that yourself and you sit with the client and then you make a call which one you feel would be best in the client's interest. And you take them by the hand and signpost them there.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic professional and safe response for the role.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. And Stuart, I fully support your thinking as well, where the client has agency and they're on a journey and it has its ups and downs and things around that. Yeah. So let's go. Nicole, did you have your hand up? No. We'll go Delray, Powell. Oh, fuck, I'm sorry, mate. I know I'm getting it wrong.
I'm
And
glad
then
you
Nikki.
brought up the gray area, David, because that's kind of what I was asking Ricky Nana, like where is his thinking at? Because I really battle whether I'm in recovery or whether I am using. It's all or nothing.
Okay.
It's like black and white, and I carry that same thinking into my recovery. So that's
Your
why I also
thinking
asked
is
Ricky
black and
before the
white, and you
break.
struggle with the grey area.
Yeah. Like
Good.
Ricky, before the break, I asked him if this was his first time in, getting sober, being abstinent, and going to rehab,
So
because
Delray, I just want to jump in there quickly, and if I can bring in Nikki's lived experience, yeah, who's someone in recovery, and her relationship with food. There's no ways that it can have a complete abstinence. There needs to be a healthy relationship with substance, with sugars, with whatever. There's that. Yep. So I just want to just bring the complexities of grey areas and
I understand
how.
that. It's just that I can't have a gray area with my substance. So
Yeah, and that's a real privilege, and it's like, and if we take that a bit deeper, people that go into treatment because they're smoking crack, it's very easy to practice a complete abstinence program, but people who go complete abstinence with alcohol, they go into a supermarket, they sell booze everywhere. It's a big part of customs and culture.
Or they
So
have a 50th birthday.
or they have a 50th birthday, exactly. Yeah. It's not like, oh, we're having a 50th birthday, come around, would you like a celebratory crack pipe? So recovery comes from the client. We work in a place of wellness. We meet the client where they're at. We see where they are on a continuum. Yep. And we put safety as the top priority. Yep. If somebody's on the way to premature death, we look at harm reduction strategies. So you're using street heroin, maybe thinking about pharmaceutical heroin, safe consumption rooms, things like that on the one extreme. With alcohol, people can go into wet houses where you drink alcohol in a safe environment. There's like the whole harm reduction thing is a huge area that gets a lot of stigma and what's the word I'm looking for? Gets a bad rap from the abstinence people. We're working in a complex system. Okay. Powell, you had your hand up and then you put it down. Did we answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, like my opinion on if you can still be using a substance and be in recovery, it's yes, that you can, because if you are decreasing the usage of the substance or changing it for a lighter one just in order to get better, then you are in recovery.
Okay.
So that's what I think.
All right. So can you go to AA and celebrate clean time?
No, I mean, if you're an alcoholic and then you're using the alcohol, then you cannot celebrate the clean time in AA. But
And if you go to AA and you're not drinking alcohol, but you're smoking marijuana.
No, then you shouldn't be going to an AA and celebrate that you are clean. but you don't have to be clean to be in recovery.
Yeah. These are all the complexities that are in the environment, huh?
Right.
That people argue and talk about and debate and get all sorts of can have some very strong opinions about. And what we want to make sure is how our opinion is impacting the person that we're working with. Stuart, you got your hand up.
Thanks, David. Yeah, like kind of listening to kind of all of the things and the questions that you're asking. I mean, this kind of speaks to the heart of coaching because it seems like we've all got our own opinions of kind of like what addiction is, the way to manage it, what it is. But the coaching framework, it's a Rogerian, right? Where it's kind of like we assume that the client knows what's best for them. And so it doesn't matter what's right, you know, like how to manage it and all of the rest of it in the objective sense. It's about how to understand how to help them understand how they can manage it, whether it's the gray area or not within the framework. You know, if it's important for them to go to AA, they find comfort in it, but they're still smoking marijuana and they're not drinking alcohol. Who's to say that it's wrong? Who's to say that it's right? It's up to them to kind of make that, and for us to scaffold them to derive their own framework of what they engage and how they relate to their addiction or substance or whatever. Right? It's kind of this discussion speaks to the very heart of kind of like, does the client know, or does the collective AA, NA, because those are all systems that are imposing this is how you must do it onto the individual, rather than taking okay, cool, you as an individual, you can use these to kind of, you know, get where you need to go, but ultimately you are going to be the one to go. You know, it's a collective versus individual kind of narrative. Anyway, just kind of some thoughts, observations.
Couldn't agree with you more. Nikki?
Yeah, David, I mean, obviously, you know, what has really blown my view of what recovery is being an eating disorder recovery, because there is so much gray area and nuance. And what, I guess, just to summarize, like what it all comes back to for me and what I wrote down is like, no matter what kind of recovery, but especially because I want to counsel people in eating disorder, asking them, what does recovery or sobriety or whatever you want to call it mean to you right now? And like that, so that's all of this, like that's what it's driving me back to, because I can also speak, and I wouldn't do this with a coaching client, but I will say that for me, my sobriety and eating disorder not only like has changed over time, but like I think it will continue to change, like how I define my sobriety, and hopefully, you know, refine it more. But it really, the underlying thing there for me has been to let go of certainty, or like thinking that I'm right about XYZ, because every time that I get certain about something, then that's just blown apart. So I think that for me has been really challenging, but really important. That's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Sure. Yes, absolutely do. You like read my mind partially, you know, when you were saying, because it, you know, just being in alcohol recovery, like it was so black and white. And
Exactly.
I, as an addict alcoholic, I love black and white. Please give me yes or no things. It's so simple, right? And then I can feel some sense of control and certainty, but it's not that way in eating disorder. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I just really appreciate your lived experience here, Nikki, and I really want to treat it with the sacredness that it deserves. And yeah, and if my enthusiasm around that ever steps over, will you let me know? Ricky, you're the one that caused all this problem in the first place. It's all your fault.
Yeah, it is my fault. I just wanted to touch on Stuart, what he said, and I agree with him. You know, when you go to AA and NA, they're telling you this is how you got to do things. This is how you have to do it, and everything. And I had an experience 2 weeks ago when I went to the AA meeting, and I was sharing my story, the secret that I told that my brother died in police cells, and people were laughing at me, and during that share of mine, and I said to myself, I've never
What do you
come
mean
into a meeting
people
like this.
laughing at you?
Yeah, they were laughing during my share, and they were talking. They were just being disruptive.
Were they
And
laughing at you, your content, or were they just being a rowdy audience?
they were laughing at my contents, and I felt I didn't feel it. I didn't feel I was not in a good space, in short. And I
Okay,
think
so
to
I've
myself
just
that
been activated, Ricky. I just want to say that I've just been triggered, and what's been triggered for me is um the disrespect that
yeah,
happens around the injustices of apartheid. Yep. And that activates me. Yep. And now I
yeah,
want to fucking start criticizing AA and the people are there and all that. So I just want to just own that that has come into the room for me from what your story is.
and when I left that meeting, I said to myself that I'm never going to go back to a meeting like this ever again. And these are the people that I was actually in rehab with, and they laugh at people if they relapse. And I just said to myself, I don't need the space. At the end of the day, I don't need it. So I haven't gone back to the facility ever since that day. And one of the facilitators of the facility, he says to me, Patrick, this mustn't mess up your recovery. I said, no, it's not going to mess up my recovery, but I'm not going to come to a meeting like that ever again because I wasn't comfortable in sharing all my life in front of people a problem, and I thought I was in a safe place, but I'm not in a safe place where people are laughing at me. So
So
I'm actually not going.
this is one of the downfalls of fellowship with that's made up of people that are that are various stages of their recovery. That's a nice politically correct way of
Yeah,
saying it. Yeah. The other thing is like fucking a bunch of people that are fucked. Yeah. Yeah. Really
yeah,
unwell. Yeah.
yeah,
And so we send people off with real complex trauma stuff and say, yeah, go and share at a meeting. And then we wonder why fucking people get triggered and re-traumatized and the people are unconscious around it. Yeah. So the treatment industry just says people need to go to meetings, they need to work the steps, they need to go to that sort of stuff. It's free, it works, great, but it's really unskilled people handling this stuff.
yeah.
Yep. The other thing I want to say, Ricky, is in the Bible it says, and this is a frap, and I'm frapping because I'm triggered and I'm very anxious to fucking get lots of people into recovery. And one of the challenges with one of the causes of addiction is unresolved issues of guilt, shame, and trauma. And South
Mhm,
Africa, in particular, is still a very traumatized country because of the legacies of apartheid. Yeah.
mhm.
And I'm very passionate South African that really believes in humanity.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah. So in the Bible it says, don't throw pearls of wisdom to swines. Yeah. So don't go to fucking meetings and share this shit and expect people to fucking get it. Oh, I'm so angry. I'm
no,
so
100%.
activated, Ricky.
100%. And I said to myself that I'm never going to an AA or NA meeting ever again. And
Well,
I'm not
that's
going. And I'm not.
yeah. That's before you decide that, I would rather you just kind of acknowledged how hurt you are,
Yeah.
how upsetting that is, and how derailing it is for your recovery.
Yeah. I have so much respect for the A and NA, and after that, I just said to myself, as you said, what a bunch of fucking crazy people that are coming
Oh,
out
good.
of
That's better. That's
addiction.
better. Good. And 2 weeks ago in the container, you said culturally you were struggling because of that split between black and white culture, and you got that white man's illness. Don't come with that. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're kind of understanding a bit why there's a huge split, because. And now we sit here 2 weeks later and you're thinking, oh, fuck, maybe I'll have a glass of champagne. It's my birthday. Let me celebrate. I was like, fuck.
Well, these 2 weeks have been something else, David. They've been
Huh?
something else. I said these 2 weeks have been something else, and I was angry at first in terms of what happened at the AA. I'm over that. I don't give a damn about that. Now I've got this hurdle that I've got to cross in the next 48 hours. But I thank everybody for the coaching techniques they've used on me, and I've actually taken some of those coaching techniques for me to use them also when I'm out there facing a similar position with the client.
And there's
So as
and there's also that thinking that sabotages something that would be good for us, because to go to that next level is quite scary.
yes, do you know what, David? With this whole 12 steps, this whole meeting thing, AANA thing, what I did is I took the 12 steps and then I took them into a more biblical way. Okay, that's how I did it. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So, and being forced to do something, you got to go to meetings 5 times a week and blah, blah, blah. I said to myself, no,
Okay.
I'm not going to sit there and listen to people.
You've been in recovery quite a while now, huh? You've got that
Yes, I've been.
stability in the structure.
Yes,
Yeah?
I have that.
Now,
Yes.
just to move on to the next level, you don't want to sabotage what's gotten you here.
Yeah.
I am so
100.
frapping now. If you bring the coaching police in, please, I'm going to get fired by whoever the coaching police are, but I'm frapping.
No, yeah, David. To be very honest with you, I've really enjoyed the 6 weeks that I've been on this coaching class, and it's really helped me as well. And I've taken the different techniques that I've learned from people, everybody that's in the container, and the different views, their different ways, different perspectives they have. And it's actually helping me every single day. And I especially love Stuart's way of thinking. Wow, yeah, I really admire you, Stuart. I must tell you that. I really, really do. And also Paul there up there as well. Paul, the Sicilian, as we call him. Yeah.
So maybe you guys can have some sessions before Friday to help you get some clarity around the choices you're going to be making. And
Why
happy
not have
birthday for Friday.
Why
I'll
not
see
have
you
a session on Monday? Why not have a session on Monday after the birthday?
Well, have as many sessions as you want. All right, so we're going to have to
Okay.
start to check out. Bex, you got your hand up?
Is my connection all right?
Sort of, yes.
I was just relating to something that Ricky said. And what you said, David. There's so much. It can be so dangerous. People in the 12-step fellowships, the power that they have, the power that the fellowship has. Because I mean, this is life and death, And
So the fellowship has power, but as individuals, don't give your power away.
Absolutely. And what I just wanted to share was they do say it in some of the preambles, and it should be in all of them, is how gossip kills. I was the day before I was leaving treatment, I had a 12-step meeting. I knew the people who were facilitating the H&I meeting very, very well. And when I was discharged the next day, myself and my husband's phones blew up. Everyone was like, "Oh, Bex is back in rehab," all this stuff. So it was just quite sad, you know, that was the anonymity, which is like kind of sacrosanct to the whole 12, you know, it's Alcoholics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, you know, it's why it's a safe space. And I confronted them. I was quite proud of how I confronted them and just said, you know, like, what was said is, "No, I thought you'd want them to know." So I said, well, if I wanted people to know, I would have told them. And I'm just grateful that I've experienced fellowship. I do 12-step meetings for more just for the fellowship and for community. But I'm really grateful that I've experienced enough of the various fellowships to know that was personalities. But it does make the space just not feel safe, which is exactly what it needs to be, you know?
Okay. Well, I hope we've had a nice class today. Bex, it was nice that you joined us. This has been, where's she gone now? Oh, there. So
Yeah.
I'd hate the way Zoom, when people mute, they move. I keep thinking people say something and then they hang up. I go, fuck you, I'm out of here. So Bex, just so you know, this is streamed live. I'm going to say that again. So everyone's going to know you're in a training class to learn about recovery coaching as a skill set. And yeah, so let's do a checkout. It's going to run a little bit over, but when you check out, just want you to check out how you're feeling and something that you've learned today.
Am I checking out?
You can start.
Checking out, feeling incredibly grateful and grounded. A little bit chaotic with how technology's not been on my side today, but yeah, really, really grateful to be in the process with you and everyone involved. And yeah, what I've learned, I really liked what you said about what you said, David, about the unconscious arrogance amongst people in recovery. I identify with that from when I've been in recovery in the past. Myself, having a lot of unconscious arrogance about recovery. So that stuck with me.
Who are you tagging?
Ricky.
Ricky? Good. I can't hear Ricky. Can you lot hear him? So there's something wrong with your mic, Ricky. While you're sorting that out, let's go to Stuart.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
No, I said I'm still feeling anxious and excited, and I'm feeling enlightened as well. 3 mixtures of feelings, and I just wanted to thank you everybody for your input and everything that you shared today in terms of the coaching, my coaching, and yeah, I really appreciate it.
Are you tagging Ricky?
Let me tag. Bix is gone. Can I tag Paul?
I feel very grateful today that I have a chance to be with all of you and be in this environment of becoming a coach, recovery coach. And the thing I learned today, which really stuck in my mind, is that if you're a coach, you play stupid. That's, I think, I have to keep in mind when I want to jump and just give an advice. And yeah. I take Delray.
Thanks, Pavel. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed but grateful. And I think what I'm taking away today is I need to remain open-minded all the time. And yeah, think like all round, tagging Stuart.
Thanks, Delray. I am still feeling apprehensive, but I am also feeling paradoxically adventurous. And I think I'm going to echo Pavel, like be stupid. To kind of continue on the journey of this kind of trying to balance intuition and theory, nature versus nurture. And I will tag Gemma.
Thank you, Stuart. I'm feeling privileged, and I have learned to be kinder to myself, and I'm going to tag Nikki.
Thank you. I'm feeling like enriched. I feel like filled with new perspective, like blown open and then like filled. I really appreciate like an increase in perspective rather than that narrowing, and that's kind of like the essence that I'm taking away from today, is to never get too fixated on a definitive view of anything, like not to attach to one thing, and just to always check myself to make sure that I'm not imposing my own whatever onto a client or a perspective. And yeah, I think just to always question. And I'll say something that's probably unpopular, because this slightly stupid thing triggers me so much. And so I actually don't want to have the like stupid view. I want to have a humble view. Like I want to bring in my style of coaching, which is like just to be constantly humbled by being taught by the client. So that might be unpopular, but I have experienced with coaches
A lovely
that like,
reframe of the language. That's a lovely reframe of the language. Thank you.
yeah, that's my own personal stuff. Like I've been very angered by coaches that like play stupid. So I like, that's my projection onto it anyway. Okay.
Yeah, no. That's a great reframe of language. Thank you, Nikki.
Who is Nicole? Did you go yet?
No, I didn't. I'm feeling at peace. And I think what I would take away from this lesson is just being consistent with the client, being at balance and focused on getting the clients from A to B, being very aware of the client's feelings.
Oh, is that everyone? Hey, Ricky, did you go?
Yes, I did. I was the first one to go, I think.
Yeah, I thought so. I just saw you unmute there, so I thought you were going to say. So I'm feeling anxious and excited and invigorated and uplifted and passionate, and I foam at the mouth at this sort of stuff. And yeah, I've enjoyed today's class a lot. And I love. I feel we have a duty to get our clients to do the work, to start to think and to take agency of their life and what that looks like. All right, everyone. I'm checking out with Joy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye all.
Bye. Bye.